You're a doctor. You could have practiced any discipline. Why'd you choose psychiatry?
Because there weren't a lot of doctors, especially psychiatrists, that looked like me. I grew up in a black neighborhood in Baton Rouge, and we had our folks who everybody in the neighborhood knew had some issues, and we just let them be, and they be in the middle of the street talking to nobody, and cussing random people out that nobody but them could see and hear, and stuff happened, and I lost a couple friends growing up. A couple to sexual assault by mom's boyfriends, and just saw a lot of stuff. But in my mind, psychiatrists were all old white men. And so I wanted to change that, because psychiatrists are not all old white men. And I think it's important. I don't think that you have to be seeing a black psychiatrist or a black therapist if you're a black person. But I think there's a level of familiarity and not having to feel like you always have to explain yourself when you say something. And I think that, for me, I just enjoy doing what I do. I enjoy seeing black patients. I enjoy seeing just about everybody, but I really enjoy when I am seeing a black patient and we connect on a level that I know they wouldn't connect with somebody else.
We were talking before you got here with Dr. Jeff, geneticist, and we were talking about vaccines and the myths around them and the fears that black people have, very real fears that we have about the nefarious ways in which we've been treated by the medical industry. And I find it interesting that there aren't many more black psychiatrists, because in our community, we have a lot of trauma, but we also have this kind of like understanding that that's white people stuff. We don't go see therapists. That's what white people do. We figure it out. Like you said, we let people be. We got that uncle or that cousin that we all know, and they may live over the kitchen, and we bring them food, or they'll be in the street tomorrow. And we all have them, right? But we just feel like that's white people stuff. How do we because we need it probably more than anyone else, therapy. How do we undo that kind of thread that weaves its way through our community about mental health?
I really think the younger generations are going to be who reach back to the aunties and the uncles and the parents. I think our younger generations are much more open to dealing with their mental health stuff instead of just packing it away. And I'm hopeful, because I think those aunties and uncles and the parents are going to see how well those young people are doing and say, what's different? Like, what's going on with you? And being able to see. And so I think our younger folks are going to be an example. Another thing I think is just media. Like, I love that there's that show, I May Destroy You, I think it is, on HBO, that deals with mental health concepts and substance concepts, and we're talking about black people. I love that Insecure this season had, a character who came out who said, hey, I have bipolar disorder, I was struggling. And then, people who watch the show being able to think back to that behavior, like, oh, and just give people a pause and just think like, oh, so that's what bipolar could look like? Because I think we don't have good examples, and we just don't know. And we just think that everybody who pops off and has mood swings has bipolar disorder, which couldn't be further from the truth. And I love that the actor who played, I can't remember, I think his name Andrew, he came out and said that he has bipolar in real life, and then you had, Tiffany with her postpartum. And so I think as much as we can weave it into everyday existence and not make it this weird thing that stops you from functioning and makes you crazy, so that, that people like to throw that word around. I think if we can keep seeing examples like that in the media and just keep talking about it and keep the conversation moving forward, that'll help.
Doctor, I loved hearing everything that you just said, because it really is, it shows the role that popular culture, our culture, has in normalizing different behaviors and in normalizing our need to access certain types of help. As this virus has sort of settled in and people are now, 3 months in, like we're at the 100-day count, how have you seen your conversations with your clients shift? How have you seen the different ways that we are adjusting to this virus show up within the lives of the people that you work with?
I think everybody's just tired. Like everybody's exhausted. I think that's
I'm raising
so
my hand.
Right. I mean, and honestly, it's left a lot of uncertainty for people who, whether you're a therapist or you prescribe medication, you know, people are telling me what's going on with them, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm thinking, yep, same, you know, yep, same. And it's hard for us on my end to figure out, am I even treating this person? Like, does this person even need medication? Like, to some degree, I would be more concerned about somebody who told me that in the past 3 months, they have not experienced not a shift in mood, not a moment of anxiety, if they are still sleeping great and hadn't thought once about what's going on in the world. I'm more concerned about that person than somebody who just says, I don't know what's going on with me. And I think also a lot of people are not even able to describe what it is. They just know something's different.
Right. Right.
I want to put the number out because I know someone listening right now, and I've had those moments. And 866-801-8255. I like that you said if you're not struggling, or if you are perfectly fine, maybe something is wrong. So call us if you're one of those people too, 866-801-8255. We have a doctor in the house, and you're a psychiatrist. And the primary difference between psychology and psychiatry is that you're a medical doctor, which means that there's a prescription that you can give to somebody. What does the medicine look like and for different things? And how much do you prescribe, you know, CBD or, you know, the THC derivatives? Are they helpful?
I think so. I'll go back to, yes, prescribing. I do prescribe, but I do not believe that everybody needs medicine. So that, you know, first off, I don't think that everybody who has anxiety or everybody who experiences mood shifts needs to be on medication. And I think we as people have gotten very uncomfortable being uncomfortable. And so I'm one of those doctors who will say, no, you should be anxious right now. You're going through a lot. Like, that's pretty typical. You know, let's work on how we can work through that as opposed to just throwing pills at it. Will some people need medicine? Absolutely. But does everybody? No, not even everybody who thinks they do. And so, you know, sometimes people get mad at me. I get called some names. But it's okay. And, you know, I mean, it is weird, but I don't think everybody needs medicine. Therapy is a very valuable treatment for a lot of disorders. And I really believe even if you don't have a disorder, everybody should have a therapist on speed dial that they can call if they need something, you know, even if it's a short term. As far as the CBD and THC and all go, I think we need a lot more information. We need a lot more research. We need a lot more information. You know, I think we all know people who use and who smoke, and they seem to do okay, right? They're really chill and calm, and they do okay. I don't think that everybody who smokes marijuana has a problem necessarily. But we also know that people who have, like, pre-existing anxiety disorders or who hear voices and have psychotic disorders or have other mental health issues may be a lot more sensitive. And so marijuana can then kind of make some of their symptoms worse. So I think we just have to be careful. Of course, we know that, you know, separating out the CBD oil from the THC from the cannabis, the CBD is not supposed to have the psychoactive properties that cannabis does. So I see a lot of people using CBD. I just think we need more information. I don't think we know enough. And I don't know if we've gotten to a point yet where we're willing as a scientific community to really put the money we need to into researching THC to know if it's something that's going to be helpful or not.